Okay, so what we have here is the basis of a project that you probably won't see anybody ever doing. But I've got a machine that's got no floppy drive and no CD-ROM, and it needed a new hard drive. So I'm going to prepare it for use in this machine, because this is how I do things. And this is probably the easiest way to do it, is to put the drive in question into another system. In this case, it's an IDE drive. I've got it here. I'm going to go back to A. You can see that it is drive C. I hope you can see anyway. I'm operating this camera blind. And we are going to format the C drive as a system drive. I don't know if this floppy drive is actually really working. It's doing some weird stuff. All data on non-removable disk drive C will be lost. Proceed, yes. I do not care if it cannot be unformatted. Oops. Well, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I should have paid more careful attention to what I was hitting no to. I don't know why it takes so long to load the format utility off of the floppy. Probably because it's going through USB emulation, which is really slow. Proceed, yes. Alright, system label. This is going to be the ThinkPad 240X. So that's what we'll put in, 240X. Here we go. So I should be able to unplug this USB floppy drive now and Control-Alt-Delete. And boot into Windows, or it'll probably try and boot off of that drive. Just watch. Yeah, it's trying to boot off of that little drive here. Okay, Control-Alt-Delete again. And we'll boot it into Windows, and I'll get my Windows stuff ready to go. Okay, so now what we're doing is transferring the entire Windows 95 CD-ROM over to this, as well as the device drivers I will need for Windows 95. Or at least all the drivers that are available for the system under Windows 95. So let that transfer take place, and then we'll get the machine out. Okay, so here's the drive. It's just a little CF adapter. It's a dual adapter, but I only have the one card in it. Here's the system unit. This is the Toshiba Portege 300 CT. I wanted to use the ThinkPad 240X, but I put this into it, and it would not see this, so I guess it doesn't like CF cards, which kind of makes me wonder if this one's going to take it. But I gotta get this plastic moved out of the way so I can install it. Oh, there it is. It doesn't really sit in there very nicely. I think there's supposed to be a caddy, and I don't have that caddy. But I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not like it's a hard drive, so it's not going to be flopping around anyway. I think really what's wrong is that it's designed for a taller drive than what this is. But I'm going to put this back together, get a power supply, and figure out if it's going to work in this. Okay. Well, that's weird. There's the power switch on this. I forget already. There it is. So yeah, perfect candidate for silent computing. It's very quiet. Alright, press F1. Let's see, 64 megs. I think everything is good. So we'll just go ahead and save changes and exit. We'll see if it's happy about this CF card adapter. I did have to mod it. I had to remove a pin because otherwise it wouldn't actually plug into the connection. Because all of the pins are populated, presumably because it's both of a master and a slave. Oh, here we go. Starting MS-DOS. Works just fine. Look at that. Yay. Now, there's just one problem, and it is that I've got the 240 hex drivers on this instead of the Portege 300 CT ones. So, I'm going to have to get those before starting Windows setup. Okay, let's make an attempt at running Windows 95 setup. See if it'll actually work on this system. Hopefully it will, and there'll be no problems. We'll let ScanDisk do its thing. I'll come back. Alright, the mouse works. I have no reason to believe that this install process won't work as designed. Because I've done this before on systems that do have CD-ROMs, and it's worked just fine. I assure you I read that EULA very carefully. Hourglass. Now we'll give it some time. There we go. That took a long time. I'm not sure why. Install the C Windows. There should be nothing there. Checking for available disk space. I'm going to go for a custom install. And I'll have to go find the product key. Here's the hardware detection process. I asked to check for sound, MIDI, and video capture devices. We'll see if it finds anything. If not, the drivers are on the drive anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Which I'll probably just load anyway. So we'll see what happens. I think it's working. And here we go. So now I can specify what I want to install. You can see I've only got 367 megabytes with which to work. That size will go up once I delete all the Windows setup files off of the drive. Although I might not. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Well, that's a surprise. It looks like it actually detected the Chips and Technology VGA adapter right out of the box. Interesting. So, I do not want a startup disk. I can't make one anyway. There we go. Here comes copying files. So we'll let it do that. Now, unfortunately, it's got a fan, so I guess it's not going to be silent computing, but oh well. There is no disk, there is no floppy drive. I'm just going to hit OK. Hopefully it'll ignore it silently, because there's not much I can do when there is no floppy drive. So it's got to count up all 64 megs. Starting Windows 95. Getting ready to run for the first time. Fun times were had by all. This is where everything will go wrong, I'm sure. I think Windows 95 would be a pretty decent OS to run on this particular system. Although I would like to run 98 on this, but I got enough Windows 98 machines. I don't even really like Windows 98 anyway, so Windows 95 is better. Yeah, I don't think it's running in the proper resolution. Yeah, it's still only running at 640 by 480. This has got a weird display panel. I don't know what the actual resolution is, but you can see that it's definitely 16 by 9. So guess we'll find out. We'll let it do its thing here. and see what kind of drivers it will need. Okay, we're at a desktop now. Welcome to Windows. But it's clearly only running in 16 color mode. And I don't know if it's going to... No, it's not going to let me do anything else. So I'm going to have to install the drivers. Which fortunately, I have under the drivers folder. So we'll start with the video. So, let's see. Oh, I think this is a manual. Install. Yeah, it is. Oh, that is so annoying. It's almost impossible to know when it's actually about to turn on, when there is no hard drive to make noise. But check this out. Alright? So, number one is I do have all the drivers, installed and functional now. The video resolution is actually 1024 by 600, which is an awful lot like a more modern netbook would be. Second thing is that I think this is the worst sounding speaker I have ever heard in my entire life. Check this thing out. Listen to that thing bottoming out. And it does that at any volume, too. Like, it's still really bad, even at really quiet. Doesn't matter if it's the Windows mixer or the hard drive volume control. That just sounds like crap. But, at the very least, it is Yamaha OPL3 synthesis. And of course, everybody's favorite. I'm sure eventually somebody's going to use that in a song and it'll get the videos muted across YouTube, but oh well. It's just a wave sound. Anyway. I think that's pretty much it. What is this? I've never seen this before. Anyway. I wonder if there's anything interesting in the Windows 95. Yeah, that's... sounds like crap. Just absolutely sounds like crap. Yay, Windows 95. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this. I don't have anything else to share. System is now running 100% with a CF card adapter at that. So you can take a look. How much space is left on it? Probably like 100 megs. 240, roughly. I don't plan on storing files on this, so that should be more than enough anyway. That is all. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, please feel free to leave them down below.